everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another video, and this is going to be a different type of video. This is 2020 and I'm definitely trying to come with more and different content on my channel. So in this video right here, we're going to be talking about 6 things that all adults need to have in 2020. Okay, so if you do not have all of these things in place right now, do not feel bad, but just, make a mental note that it's time to start getting this stuff together, because this stuff is extremely important. All right, a lot of the things that I'm going to mention are financial based, and I am not a financial advisor, so I'm just going to give you guys a brief cursory explanation of everything that I talk about. If you want more information, you are going to have to do your research, and you're also going to have to contact a financial advisor and get more detailed information. One of the first things that all adults need to have is the ability to make money outside of your 9 to 5. So you need to have the ability to make money outside of your 9 to 5, outside of your full-time job. Even if you're self-employed, you still need to have the ability to make money outside of that. Make enough money to where one income works for you, that's great, but no matter how much money I make, I still want to have more than one income, because you never know what could happen. You never should be putting all of your eggs in one basket. Like in this day and age, it just does not work that way, okay? So with this being said, you can do side hustles. I've talked about side hustles on my channel many times before. I've talked about mystery shopping. I've talked about surveys, but of course there are tons of different side hustles that you can do. If you have writing skills and you are well versed in a particular subject, or if you have a particular interest, you can write an ebook and you can make sales off of your ebook. You can do day trading. You can do real estate. So there are tons of different things that you can do. If you already know what you're good at, you can find a way to market that and to make money doing that as well. So again, always keep additional ways and be looking and searching for additional ways to make extra money, and to have additional sources of income just in case something happens to your main income. For me personally, I have about 6 streams of income. I think a few years ago I might have had about 4, and I'm always considering and thinking of other ways to make additional money. That's just how my mind works. I just don't ever pretty much get comfortable with too much of anything. That's just kind of the way that my childhood has taught me to be. So, I always believe in having multiple streams of income. You don't necessarily have to have 7 different things that you're doing, but again, you do need to have more than one, and have the ability to make money outside of your 9 to 5. Okay, number 2, this one is big. All right, this is another big one. You need to have life insurance. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. And with the recent death of Kobe Bryant, it shows you, and it further, shows you, which we already know, and we go through our day-to-day lives and we forget, but we constantly have reminders that show us that you never know when your time is coming, and you need to be prepared, and you have to make those preparations for your family. It's just the responsible thing for you to do. Just to be real with you guys, like, you can't be stunting on the gram but you don't have no life insurance. You know what I'm saying? You can't be stunting on the gram and then something happens to you and your family has to come up with a GoFundMe to provide you with the funeral. That's not the move. So you need to have life insurance. Life insurance is very affordable. There are different types of life insurance. You can have a term life insurance policy, or you can have a whole life insurance policy. You can pick which one works for you. I do have my life insurance with State Farm. It is affordable, so there are many affordable companies out there that will provide you with life insurance. One thing about term life insurance is it is cheaper. You are going to have a cheaper premium, but it does not build cash value. So, you have to consider that as well. Now, with a whole life insurance policy, you are going to have a higher premium, but it does build cash value. So, you can use that and you can borrow against that if need be. So again, you just have to choose what works for you. But at the end of the day, you just have to have something in place, whether it's a $5,000 policy, $6,000 policy. You need to have life insurance for yourself, and you need to have life insurance for your children. And of course, that's not something that we want to think about, but it's just the reality of it all. You know, you have to be prepared. Like, all of us are not Kobe Bryant. Of course, his family is going to be taken care of. His funeral expenses are going to be taken care of. He was filthy rich, but most of us are not, and we do need to have that stuff in place, and that needs to be a priority for you, okay? Next up, I'm sure that we pretty much know that we need to have health insurance. It's extremely important to have health insurance, and for those of us who are self-employed, health insurance is extremely high. But for those of you who work, you know, a regular job, you know, you do have lower premiums for your health insurance. It's a little bit easier for you to obtain health insurance. But for those of us who, again, are self-employed, even those who are not employed or those who are up in age, you know, a senior citizen, it can be a little bit more difficult to obtain health insurance. For those who are self-employed, you can always get health insurance through any company, but again, the premium is going to be higher. So you do have your typical, you know, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Kaiser Permanente. Like I said, you can pretty much go through any company, but you are going to have a high premium, you know, or I believe you can go through healthcare.gov. For senior citizens, they do have Medicare, so you can look into that. For those of you who are low income, they do have Medicaid, so there are options out there. But again, healthcare is expensive no matter how you slice it, but it's still something that we need to have in place. Now, if you're not in a position to have any of those things that I just mentioned, you can also go to your local health department, and they have programs where they will allow you to pay for a doctor's visit on a sliding scale based off of your income. So depending on what your income is, you may have to only pay maybe, you know, $100 or $50 for a doctor's visit. If it's an annual visit, you only have to do that one time a year. You will be able to spot or detect anything early if you are getting your yearly checkups, okay? So that's also an option for you, okay? Okay, so I should have mentioned this right after life insurance, but you also need to make sure that you have a will. And having a will is extremely important. Life insurance is not enough. A will is going to be a legally binding document that's going to decide how your estate will be distributed, okay? So if you have certain things, or, you know, if you have property or things that really mean a lot to you that you want to make sure that they go to a specific person or your children, you're going to need to write that in a will so that it will be legally documented and it has to be honored. So that is one of the purposes of the will. You can also decide who's going to take care of your minor children. So if you were to pass away before your children reach an age where they can care for themselves, you'll have the ability to decide who's going to take care of your minor children instead of your children possibly ending up in some type of, you know, custody dispute or anything like that. A will also helps you to avoid a lengthy probate process, and all estates must go through the probate process. So that's with or without a will. Now, having a will speeds up the probate process and informs the court how you like your estate to be divided. Will is also going to, you know, establish who's going to wind up the affairs of your estate once you pass away. And you can also disinherit individuals who would otherwise stand to inherit things after you passed away. And again, you can make gifts and donations. It helps to avoid greater legal challenges, and you can always change your mind if your life circumstances change. Now, they do have websites where you can do it yourself, or you can talk to an estate planning attorney who can assist you in creating a will. All right, so yeah, again, that's one of those things that we really don't like talking about, but it is necessary, and it is something that we need to get done and have in place, okay? Next up, you do need to have a retirement plan. And if you work for a traditional company and you're an employee, of course you have your 401k, so you're automatically saving for retirement. You know, they also have traditional IRAs or Roth IRAs or solo 401ks. There are so many different things. For those of us who are self-employed, we have to go about doing that stuff on our own, and it's just a lot of information and a lot of things to consider. I would recommend speaking to a financial advisor so you can find out what works best for you. I'm in the process of speaking with a financial advisor so I can kind of find out what type of retirement plan works for me based off of my situation and my income. We all want to live comfortably when we get to an age where we no longer want to work. So having a retirement plan is going to assist you with that. Social Security is not going to be enough in most cases to help people live comfortably and pay their bills. So that's where your retirement plan is going to further come into play, okay? Last but not least, I'm pretty sure we all know that you need to have savings. You need to have savings on deck. You need to have investments, and you need to have savings. And for me personally, I didn't really start saving money seriously until maybe about 2 years ago. I was not big on saving money, but the older that I've gotten, you know, I realized that you have to have money saved. Even if you just save a little bit of money here and there, or a percentage of your income, you have to have money saved. Now, there are different apps for people, you know, and different things that you can put in place if you have a hard time saving money. I know Wells Fargo has a savings account where, you know, they take the change from your debit card purchases and they simply transfer that money into your savings. So although that's small, that's still a good way and an automatic way for you to start saving money. You can also have a withdrawal come from your checking account and go to your savings, you know, on a monthly basis. So there are different things that you can do to save money. Like I said, even if it's just a little bit adds up over time. And they do say that the average American cannot afford a $400 emergency, whether that be that they have to pay cash for it or that they have to use credit for it. So there are also apps that can help you with saving. I'll go ahead and kind of link some of those apps. I know Acorns is an investment app. It'll help you to invest your spare change. You know, you can check that out. So there's so many different ways that you can save money, you know, that will assist you in saving money and kind of will do the work for you. And, you know, the little small amounts you won't really miss. And before you know it, you've built up your savings. So having savings is essential. It's something that has to be done, and it's something that we have to have in place because, again, you never know what's going to happen, and you want to be prepared in case of an emergency, okay? Pretty much the 6 things that adults need to have in place in 2020. Again, anything that I mentioned or any references, they will be in the description bar for you. And as usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave those below. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.